Some footballers are weighing themselves multiple times a day, and others are even developing eating disorders. Here's why the game's obsession with body fat needs to change. The measurement everyone focuses on in football is body fat percentage. This measurement's taken using calipers, which are like large tweezers. They pinch the top layer of skin and measure the body fat just beneath the surface. At some clubs, this measurement's taken every week. At others, it's every 3 or 4 weeks. This is much more regularly than at somewhere like GB Boxing, where all the country's best amateurs train, where it's only done 3 or 4 times a year. Higher levels of body fat are perceived negatively in football circles, often leading to a player being labelled as lazy, or having a bad diet, or unprofessional. For some coaches, this measurement can hold such sway that they change their mind about a player, or they might not pick them for a certain game. We've seen this with the likes of Calvin Phillips at Manchester City, when Pep Guardiola labelled him overweight in front of the nation's media, and more recently with Alan Saint-Maximin at Fenerbahce, where Jose Mourinho didn't pick him for a Europa League tie after saying he was overweight. The negative consequences of this fixation can lead to things like disordered eating, especially in professional female footballers, where research has shown that 1 in 5 has suffered from disordered eating. It can also lead to cutting out certain food groups like carbohydrates, which can then cause players to go into training and even matches underfueled. Young players in academies are particularly vulnerable. At a time they're still growing, they should not be cutting things out of their diet, they should be focusing on getting stronger to reach the first team. We have also seen senior players who were labelled as overweight as a youngster still suffering the consequences of that, some weighing themselves multiple times a day and cutting out certain foods from their diet. The myths that need to be debunked about body fat in sport are that leaner is inherently better when it comes to performance for every player. Also that carbohydrates make you fat and sugar is inherently bad for you. Body composition testing should be used as a tool rather than a measure, especially when it comes to young players to track their growth and maturation, or senior players at times of injury or rehabilitation when muscle wastage is a big issue. The first step towards making positive change is to involve players in discussions about their own bodies. The fact that they aren't is frankly absurd and takes all power away from them. Head to The Athletic for the full story.